Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent dollar bead box and dollar bead bag, the one for June 2024. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box and the bag. I have a coupon code. It's THJ2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. In here I've got the 3mm crystal yellow lined fire polish beads that were in the dollar bead bag. In here I've got the 4mm opaque light green AB fire polish beads that were in the dollar bead bag. In here I've got the 5mm, it was either peridot AB or fern green AB, and I think I got the fern green AB fire polish beads that came in the box. I've got a toggle clasp from my stash. I've got my 11/0 and 15/0 Miyuki Duracoat galvanized silver seed beads. I've got a size 11 beading needle. I'm going to be using my 8-pound fire line and smoke. I'll be using my chain nose pliers to flatten the thread to get it through my needle, and my scissors and thread burners to and thread burner to cut my fire line and to burn down the ends. I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below, everything that didn't come in the box or the bag. So hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my beads out here now. I've got my 5mm beads, my 4mm, my 3mm, my 11/0s, and my 15/0s. And I've got my needle threaded, and I've got a stop bead on here, and I'm leaving about a 12-inch tail to come back later and sew my clasp on with. So this is just going to be a right angle weave bracelet. It's just going to have more than 4 beads for the right angle weave unit. Than I usually do 4 beads for a right angle weave unit, but this is going to have more than that. But it's still really easy. So for the left side of my right angle weave box, I'm going to use a 5mm bead. For the top of my right angle weave box, I'm going to use an 11/0, a 4mm, an 11/0, a 4mm, and an 11/0. For the right side of my box is going to be another 5mm. And for the bottom of my box is going to be an 11/0, a 4mm, an 11/0, a 4mm, and an 11/0. So I'm going to drop all this down to my stop bead, and I'm going to sew it all into a circle. I'm going to go through all the beads again. I've got too much thread on my needle here. I'm going to go around all these beads again. All the seed beads and all the big beads. I'll go past my stop bead. And I'm going to come out the 11/0 past my 5mm fire polish bead. And now I'm going to make a little, no, I forgot. I'm going to go up into this 4mm bead. Now I'm going to pick up 3 of my 15/0s. And I'm going to skip over that 11/0 and go into the next 4mm bead. Put a little decoration on the side there. Now I'm going to go through this 11-0, this 5mm, this 11-0. I'm going to go into this 4mm bead. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s. I'm going to skip over that 11-0 between the 4mm beads and go into the next 4mm bead. Make a little decoration on that side. Now I'm going to sew through this 11-0, my 5mm fire polish bead, and the 11-0 on the other side of that 5mm fire polish bead. Hold my tail thread out of the way. Okay, so I'm coming out of that 11-0 past that 5mm fire polish bead. I'm going to pick up a 15-0, an 11-0, and a 15-0. One of my 3mm beads, and a 15-0, and an 11-0, and a 15-0. So that's what I've got, a 15-0, 11-0, 15-0, 3mm, 15-0, 11-0, 15-0. Now I'm coming out this side of this 11-0. I'm going to find the opposite 11-0, which is the one on this other side of this 5mm bead, and I'm going to go in the opposite side of it than the one I'm coming out of. So I'm going to go in it diagonally. I'm coming out the right side of this 11-0. I'm going to go in the left side of this 11-0. And I'm going to pull my thread through. Like that. Now I'm going to go back up these 3 beads, the 15-0, 11-0, 15-0, and the 3mm, and the 15-0, and 11-0, and 15-0 on the other side. Hold my finger over it so it doesn't come loose. Now I'm going to go back in this bead, and I'm going to go this 11-0, and I'm going to go in the opposite side that I started, which would be this side. Pull my thread through, make that little embellishment over there. Now I'm going to go through this 4mm bead, and you can either go through this 11-0 in between or these 3 15-0s I put at the top here. I think I'll go through the 3 15-0s at the top, but it doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want to do. And then I'm going to go on through that 4mm and the 11-0 on the other side of the 4mm. Now I'm going to pick up 15-0, an 11-0, and a 15-0. And I'm going to go up into this 3mm bead here, just that 3mm bead. Pull my thread through. Now I'm going to pick up another 15-0, 11-0, 15-0, and I'm going to go in this 11-0 on this side of my 5mm, and I'm going to go on the opposite side from the one down here. So I started coming out the left side of this 11-0. I'm going to go up here and go on the right side of this 11-0. Pull my thread through. Lay my beads over top there. Now I'm going to go back up all these beads again. I'm going to go up the 15-0, the 11-0, and the 15-0. in the fire polish, the 3mm fire polish bead. I like to try to get through all these at the same time at once if I can, but I can't always do that. Now I'm going to go through the 15-0, 11-0, and 15-0 on the other side, and I think I'm letting my needle sneak out of there. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go through that fire polish bead in the middle for now, and then I'm going to go through the rest of them. Go through the 15-0, the 11-0, and the 15-0. And then I'm going to go in this 11-0 on the other side of it from which I started, so that would be this side. So that's my first little unit. Now I'm going to make my next unit. So I'm going to go into this 5mm fire polish bead. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more this time in case you couldn't see what I was doing that last time. Now I've already got my left side of my right angle weave unit, so I need my bottom, which is going to be an 11-0, a 4mm, an 11-0, a 4mm, and an 11-0. It's going to be the top. Then I need the right side, which is going to be another 5mm. And then I need the bottom, which is going to be just like the top, an 11-0, 4mm, 11-0, 4mm, and an 11-0. I'm coming out the bottom of this 5mm bead. I'm going to go on the top of it. Pull all that through. Now I'm going to go around all this again to tighten up my unit. Go into the 11-0, the 4mm, and the 11-0. The 4mm, the 11-0. 5mm, 11-0, 4mm, 11-0, 4mm, and 11-0. Back into the 5mm. Now I'm going to go into this 11-0 and this 4mm bead, just the 4mm bead. I'm going to pick up 3 of my 15-0s. I'm going to skip that 11-0 between the 4mm and go into the next 4mm. And I'm going to go on into that 11-0 while I'm at it. Pull my little decoration on the side down there. Now I'm going to go into the 5mm, the 11-0. 4mm here. Now I'm going to pick up 3 more 15-0s. I'll skip that 11-0 and go into that 4mm. And I'm going to go on into that 11-0 and on into that 5mm fire polish bead. Now I'm going to go into this 11-0 on the other side of this 5mm fire polish bead. Now I'm going to do my little embellishment, my little crisscross embellishment. So I'm going to pick up a 15-0, an 11-0, and a 15-0. One of my 3mm fire polish beads. 15-0, 11-0, and a 15-0. So that's what I've got. Now I'm coming out the right side of this 11-0. I'm going to go to the 11-0 diagonally across from it, which would be the 11-0 on the other side of that 5mm. And I'm going to go on the other side of it. I'm going to go on the left side. pull my thread through. Now I have to turn it around so that I can get back through these, because I have to be sewn away from me, because I'm not able to do it any other way. So now I'm going to go back up the 11-0, the 15, the 15, the 11-0, and the 15-0, the 3mm, and the 15-0, the 11-0, and the 15-0. Hold my finger over it so it doesn't come loose. Now I started coming out of this side of the 11-0. I'm going to go on the other side of it. I'm going to go up into that 4mm, and I'll probably go through, I'm going to go through 2 of those 15-0s at my little peak, my little decoration I made there. Now I'm going to go through the other 15-0, the 4mm, and the 11-0. Now I'm going to complete my little crisscross here. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0, a 15-0, an 11-0, and a 15-0. I'm going to go into this fire polish bead. It's 3mm fire polish bead. Just the fire polish bead. I don't want to catch any of those seed beads. Now I'm going to pull my thread through. Now I'm going to pick up another 15-0, 11-0, 15-0. And I started coming out the right side of this 11-0. I'm going to go up here and go in the, I guess, I don't know if you call that the right side or not. I started coming out, yeah, I think that would be the right side of this 11-0. I'm going to go up here and go in the left side of this 11-0. Just the 11-0. Now I'm going to go back through all these that I just put on. I'm going to go back into this 15-0, 11-0, and 15-0. Back into the 3mm fire polish bead, and into the 15-0, 11-0, and 15-0. Now I started coming out of this side of this 11-0. I'm going to go on the other side of it. And on into that 5mm bead. So that's 2 units. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I get the length that I want. And I'll probably end up using all these little 4mm beads. And then when I'm done, I'll come back and we'll put on the one side of the clasp. So I'll be back. Okay, I used up all my 4mm fire polish beads, and I had 2 left. So I decided to use 1 at each end of my clasping. And I already did this side, the bar side. Now I'm going to do this side, and I'm going to make it just a bead shorter than this side. I usually do this bar side a little bit longer because I need room for it to go through the round part of the toggle. So I did 5 11-0s, a fire polish bead, and 11-0. I went through the clasp, came back down the 11-0 fire polish bead, the 11-0 under the fire polish bead, and then did 4 11-0s on the other side. Down here, I'm going to do 1 bead less. I just don't want it to be as long as that side. You can make it the same, exactly the same if you want to. I just wanted it to be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to pick up 4 11-0s instead of 5. My fire polish bead and 1 11-0. I'm going to go through my loop of my clasp. Now I'm going to come back down the 11-0, the fire polish bead, the 11-0 under the fire polish bead. Hold on to my clasp and pull my thread through so there's no slack. Now I'll pick up 3 more 11/0s. I'm going to go on the other side of this fire polish bead, 5mm fire polish bead that I started in. Like that. Now I'm going to go back up these 4 11/0s, the fire polish bead, 11/0 above the fire polish bead, back through the clasp, go back down the 11/0, the fire polish bead, and the 11/0 under the fire polish bead. And I just unthreaded my needle. Needle came unthreaded. Let me see if I can thread it back real quick here. Don't know why that happened. I've got plenty of thread. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm coming out this 11/0 under that fire polish bead. I'm going to go down these 3 11/0s on the other side. Now I'm going to go back through this 5mm fire polish bead, but before I do, I'm going to pick up an 11/0 to kind of fill in that little gap there. And then I'm going to go through my 5mm. And now I'm going to pick up another 11/0 and I'm going to go up these 4 11/0s. The fire polish bead, 11/0 above the fire polish bead, back into the clasp, into the 11/0, fire polish bead, the 11/0 under the fire polish bead, back down the what are now 4 11/0s on the other side of my little triangle I'm making here. I'm going to go down those 3. And then into this one I added to fill in that gap and back into the 5mm. So that gets that side of my clasp on. So now I'm going to go down through here and tie 3 half-inch knots and end off my thread. And then when I come back, we'll see what I got. So I'll be back. Okay, there's my bracelet all done. And I meant to tell y'all, and I forgot, when you do the embellishment, you want to make sure your embellishment is all on the same side of the bracelet, because the embellishment, the part with the embellishment sticks up a little bit more than the side without the embellishment. It's kind of a little bit dimensional. So you want to make sure to get your embellishments all on the same side of the bracelet. I know this because I messed up and got one on the wrong side and had to take it out. So you can learn from my mistakes. Let me put it together here and we'll see what it looks like. I don't think it really made much difference that I used one less bead on the loop side here than I did on the bar side, so you can do them exactly the same if you want to. So that's what it looks like. It's really not hard at all to do. And like I said, if you're not subscribed to the Dollar Bead Box and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.